Are you so afraid of making mistakes that you let other people take your power away and make decisions you'd really like to have a say in? I'm here with Jackie, and we're going to be tapping on the fear of making mistakes. Thanks so much for being here, Jackie.
Hi, Kathy.
I'm Kathy
My
Bertoli.
pleasure.
Thanks. I'm Kathy Bertoli from the Intimacy Dojo and ThrivingNow.com, and we're going to be tapping on this fear. So, Jackie, can you share a little bit about your particular experience around this?
Well, I know I've never wanted to make mistakes, and I try to be perfect, and I don't necessarily achieve that either. And I do think it started when I was a kid. I can't remember a specific incident, but I do think that there was ridicule or humiliation at a minimum
Yeah.
if I didn't get something right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you think about making a mistake, maybe you and a friend are deciding where to go for dinner, and this friend is like, "No, this place is really great," and you're like, "Wow, I've been there a bunch of times and it sucks." For example, like you don't, but you're afraid to speak up. What do you notice in your body?
I'm not noticing anything right now.
Okay. What's going on? Are you feeling numb or?
No, okay, I guess I am noticing something. If I'm in charge of something, I worry a lot as I'm doing it. I want everybody to be happy.
Yeah.
And then when it's happening, I have a lot of anxiety that something's going to go wrong.
Okay. Can we dig just a little bit further?
Sure.
So making mistakes can have there can be a couple things behind it. One, you could feel like you're wrong and that's really bad, but the another side of that is that I'm going to make people unhappy with me. Like I'll disappoint people. Which seems stronger right now to you, or are they mixed together?
Well, truthfully, most of the people in my life, if I made a mistake, we'd all laugh about it. So
Yeah.
it's something. It's older.
Mm-hmm.
And it's deeper, and I guess what came to my mind is if I don't get it right, I'm going to be punished.
Okay. All right.
And I don't know what the punished means, but
Yeah. Okay, so I have to get it right or I'm going to be punished.
mm-hmm.
Okay. And the ridicule, what kind of things were the ridicule aimed at? Like, you never get things right, you're not smart, you screw things up. Is there an aspect of it there?
There was a period of time where if I did get something wrong, my mother would yell at me that I ruined something.
Okay.
And I was fairly young.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say 10, and trying to clean a floor and not knowing that you shouldn't mix bleach and ammonia.
Well, everybody survived, so you probably didn't actually ruin anything.
No, I survived, right. So most of the time it would be if I would try to do something without direction, but trying to do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite get it right. I did get yelled at. You ruined whatever it was.
Okay, so you weren't allowed to go off on your own and make your own decisions.
No, and I was trying to be helpful.
Yeah. Karate chop. Even though I was just trying to be helpful.
Even though I was just trying to be helpful.
And based on what I knew.
And based on what I knew.
I was doing a really good job.
I was doing a really good job.
But I made a mistake.
But I made a mistake.
And I was ridiculed.
And I was ridiculed.
Even though I was told that I ruined everything.
Even though I was told that I ruined everything.
I didn't actually ruin everything.
I didn't actually ruin everything.
And I was a little kid.
And I was a little kid.
So maybe it's okay I made some mistakes.
So maybe it's okay I made some mistakes.
Top of the head, not allowed to make mistakes.
Not allowed to make mistakes.
Eyebrow, gotta get it perfect.
Gotta get it perfect.
Side of the eye, or I ruined everything.
I ruined everything.
Under the eye, because I didn't ask.
Because I didn't ask.
Under the nose, but she ridiculed me if I asked, too.
But she ridiculed me if I asked, too.
Chin, I think she was really overwhelmed.
I think she was really overwhelmed.
Collarbone, she didn't have room for me to be a kid.
She didn't have room for me to be a kid.
Under the arm, but she had a kid.
But she had a kid.
Top of the head, there wasn't room for me to be me.
There wasn't room for me to be me.
Eyebrow, I was supposed to be a little adult.
I was supposed to be a little adult.
Side of the eye, and no chemistry.
and no chemistry,
Under the eye and how to clean a floor.
and how to clean a floor,
Under the nose and how to do everything right.
and how to do everything right,
Chin just the way she wanted it.
just the way she wanted it,
Collarbone, even though I didn't know these things.
even though I didn't know these things.
Under the arm, and she gave me a really hard time when I made a mistake.
And she gave me a really hard time when I made a mistake.
Top of the head, no wonder I don't want to make decisions.
No wonder I don't want to make decisions.
Eyebrow, no wonder I don't want to speak up.
No wonder I don't want to speak up.
Side of the eye, it didn't ever turn out right.
It didn't ever turn out right.
Under the eye, I was taught that I wasn't good at this.
I was taught that I wasn't good at this.
Under the nose, when I was just a little kid.
When I was just a little kid.
Chin, that's not a good way to learn.
That's not a good way to learn.
Collarbone, it's nice to be shown how to do things.
It's nice to be shown how to do things.
Under the arm, or at least given forgiveness if I screwed it up.
Or at least given forgiveness if I screwed it up.
Top of the head, and she didn't have room for any of those things.
And she didn't have room for any of those things.
Nice deep breath. What are you noticing in your body, Jackie?
Well, one time she threatened to give me away if anything happened with whatever I had done. So, I mean, and it was, I don't even remember what it was. It wasn't anything, it wasn't world peace, and it wasn't.
And she might have meant it flippantly, but little kids don't get that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Karate chop. If I make a mistake,
if I make a mistake,
people will give me away.
People will give me away.
If I make a mistake,
if I make a mistake,
they'll kick me out of their lives.
They'll kick me out of their lives.
If I make a mistake, I'll be all alone.
If I make a mistake, I'll be all alone.
No wonder I don't want to make decisions.
No wonder I don't want to make decisions.
No wonder I don't want to speak up.
No wonder why I don't want to speak up.
Top of the head. No wonder I'm scared.
No wonder I'm scared.
Eyebrow. No one can really give me away.
No one can really give me away.
Side of the eye, but I'm still scared of that.
But I'm still scared of that.
Under the eye, if I screw up.
If I screw up.
Under the nose, they're going to leave me.
They're going to leave me.
Chin, I'm really scared.
I'm really scared.
Collarbone, so if anyone seems strong in their beliefs.
So if anyone seems strong in their beliefs.
Under the arm, I feel like it's easier just to give in.
I feel like it's easier just to give in.
Top of the head, even if I end up doing things I don't want to do.
Even if I end up doing things I don't want to do.
Eyebrow, that doesn't feel good.
That doesn't feel good.
Side of the eye, but it felt safer.
But it felt safer.
Under the eye, and maybe I'm allowed to speak up now.
And maybe I'm allowed to speak up now.
Under the nose, I send love to that younger self.
I send love to that younger self.
Chin, she was doing the best she knew how.
She was doing the best that she knew how.
Collarbone, and we did survive.
And we did survive.
Under the arm, thank God.
Thank God.
Top of the head, and it's okay to be me now.
And it's okay to be me now.
Nice deep breath.
I still don't like to make mistakes.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, I don't think anyone enjoys making mistakes or tries to make mistakes. But what are you noticing if you think about making a mistake, like you're trying to be careful but you make a mistake, what are you noticing? What are the thoughts or feelings you have?
Well, it's interesting because it's more anxiety producing before. Like once the mistake is made, it's almost a relief.
Yeah.
Because it's way less intense than the fear of it.
Right. The anticipation is worse than the actual occurrence.
Yes.
Yeah, I think because it sounds like when you were little, you were told that mistakes were huge. You've ruined everything. You're like, they weren't just little things like, oh, that wasn't a good thing to do, sweetie. Never mix chlorine. I so appreciate what you did. Thank you for trying to clean the floors. They look beautiful. And you should never mix these two chemicals because it could really hurt you.
Right.
Versus, you've ruined everything.
Right.
So, I mean...
Exactly. Everything was very dramatic.
Yeah.
And, I don't like drama. So I think a big part of not wanting mistakes, too, is I try to avoid drama.
Okay.
Which is another thing about not speaking up, maybe. I don't like drama.
Yeah. So if someone came to you and said, hey, I really want to go to this movie. I've heard it's really good. And you've heard, or you've even seen it, and you're like, it's not very good. Just picking a light example. Do you feel like you could say something like, I don't mean to, I don't want to I know everybody has their own opinion, but it wasn't a good movie for me. Or it's not something I want to see.
I would be okay with that now. I think we worked really hard to get to the place where I do feel I have a voice.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think it's easier with new people coming into your life to put out new boundaries.
Yeah.
But then as you're changing and growing and evolving, the people who've been in your life, it's a little harder to shift those boundaries.
Yeah.
So I experience with new friends noticing that I still want to do my old dance and catching myself. Mm-hmm. And with old relationships, I don't want it, but the other people still do things that are part of our old dance.
So one thing I really encourage people to do is, as they heal, as they tap and clear stuff out, it really helps to update people. And it's not necessarily the other person's fault for not getting that things have changed. The average person doesn't change patterns, right?
Right.
Most people don't know tapping, or they're not in therapy, they're not working through things. So how they were a week, a year, 10 years ago is pretty much how they are now. There might be some changes, but overall it's the same. So if we're doing a lot of work on ourselves, if it can be really nice to say, hey, Jackie, I just want to let you know I've been working on myself really hard, and I've been trying to speak up more, and I noticed that I had this really old tendency of doing whatever other people really wanted to do because it felt safer. And I'd really love your help in helping me speak up. I just want to let you know that I'm going to be trying to speak up more, and I'm really afraid that you might find that, I'm being too pushy. So I'm really glad to talk about it, but I just want to let you know that I've changed this pattern, and I would really love your help, supporting me in that. Mm-hmm. Just kind of it doesn't have to be those words, but just kind of letting someone know and asking for their help, because most people really do want to be helpful.
Well, I don't know if you remember there was a period of time you had me practicing telling my family no.
Yes. And you had fun with it too.
That was fun, but it was really hard at first.
Yeah.
Because it was an interesting exercise.
Yeah, but it had two purposes. One, it let you practice with people you felt safe with.
Yes.
And two, it also let them know you were changing a pattern.
Yes, and it was funny.
Yes.
Because they did have to make up things for me to say no to initially, just for me to get the practice.
Yeah. But it also probably helped them feel less resistant to your change because they were helping and getting to be silly about it.
Yes.
So asking, telling people, hey, I'm having this, rather than all of a sudden someone you've always been compliant to, you've always agreed to, and you're all of a sudden, no, where they feel like what's going on and might try to push back. If you say, hey, I notice this is a pattern, it's something I really want to change, and I would love your support, and, if you're willing, suddenly they're on board and helping you. Most people will opt in. If they don't opt in, that's something to notice and say, is this someone that I value and want to have in my life?
Right. Well, I think the thing was I was unhappily compliant.
Yeah.
Only to a point, and then I would explode. So it was like, I can't say anything because I'll explode.
Yeah.
I can't say anything because there'll be a fight. I can't say anything because we'll have a fight. So don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say anything. And then when I did say something, well, of course we had a fight.
Yeah, you build up all that pressure.
I told you we were going to have a fight.
Yeah, all that resentment built up.
Yes. So,
okay.
I'm much better at saying no now.
That's wonderful. I'm really glad. I'm really happy for you. And you're role modeling that for your family too, which is great.
Yes. Good practice.
Yeah, good. How does your body feel right now?
I'm good. I'm good. My feet are on the floor. I'm good.
Good. Wonderful. Thanks so much for tapping with us, Jackie. If you have comments, thoughts, suggestions, leave them below. We'd love to hear.
Thank you.